God. Ask God.
Hey Scott, it's Jay again. I had another question, so hopefully I can get that one in. When looking on the at the Amazon site, in whatever category, you'll notice a lot of name brand sellers, whether it be Black & Decker or Oster or whatever, in certain categories that obviously they're going to get the lion's share of sales, at least in my mind, based on their name brand recognition. So, I bought from Amazon many times, many different products, and I will usually always go with a brand that I know and recognize. So maybe you can talk a little bit about what you do to compete, if you are competing. I don't know what category you're in. What you do to compete with the big players that are also selling on Amazon. Thanks a lot. Really enjoy the podcast and keep up the good work.
Hey, Jay, what are you doing asking two questions? We have rules on this show. No, I'm just kidding. No, I wanted to answer the two together because you asked them exactly like a minute apart when you sent in your voicemail. So what the heck? And it's related to your other question. So I want to make sure that we're clear. Okay. A lot of people, when they're doing research, they see that major brands are dominating, the first and second position or whatever. And you know what? That's going to happen, and that's okay. Here's how I look at that. Again, and I've talked about this before. We look at the depth of the market, okay? So let's just say that, the first and second listing for garlic press is a main brand or, a name brand that everyone knows. All right. Now, I have to look now at the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and all the way to the 10th maybe. And I'm going to see if anyone else is private labeling. Now, some of you may be saying, well, Scott, if someone's private labeling it already, why would I want to do that? Because there's already someone doing it. Well, it's validation, okay? And if there's enough volume there, if there's enough demand for the product, then you can come in there and probably do a better job. That's the other thing that I look at when I do the product research is I look at the listing quality, right? I look at the images, I look at the title, I look at the description, I look at all that stuff, all right? And, that also helps me say, okay, this person is selling and they're doing pretty good, right? They're doing 10 or 15 or 20 sales a day. I can come in here and do a better job. They only have 75 reviews. I know I could compete with that. So all of that stuff kind of comes into play. So, I'm not necessarily going to get discouraged unless I see that the first and second one that's listed for that keyword for garlic press, okay, let's say, those two, let's say, are dominating. And then the third, fourth, and fifth one, the rankings on those, the BSR, is really bad. And they're only selling like 1 a day or 3 a day or something, right? That would discourage me, and I would move away from that then, okay? Because then it's showing me that there's only enough volume for the first and second spot, and after that, there's none, right? And because of that, that means that I'm not going to be able to really compete that well with the name brands. Like you said, you admitted, you look at a product and you'll see one that has a name brand, you'll go for it. Some products are more name brand driven than others, and I've seen a lot of products that have name brands on them. And here's a little side note for you is that a lot of the major brands, they have a company that'll just list the products for them, and the listings are usually horrible. And they're not really driving traffic from their external website to Amazon. They're just doing it because they know that they should be on Amazon. So they'll put up a listing for them. They'll have a service that puts it up for them, and they won't optimize the listing. It'll just usually be a couple of images. Again, it depends on the company and on the brand, but I've seen a lot of them like this. And they're just, a couple bullet points, little description, nothing really that good. And you can come in here and do a better job because you know the importance of all of those other things to optimize the listing properly, to get the reviews, quality reviews, all that. You know how to use pay-per-click. They're not even probably driving pay-per-click. They're just relying on the brand name, the brand recognition. So that's what I would say there. I wouldn't let it discourage me unless I seen that the depth in the market, the vertical, okay, was less after the fifth one, let's say. All right. So if you can see that there's depth after, the third and fourth one, let's say, and you can say, even if I got in at the 8th position, I'd still be getting my 10 or 15 sales a day, then I'll go for it. Right. So I would look at that competition, but I'd also look at it that if there is a private labeler already doing it, I would see that as validation. I would say, okay, so this person's doing it. That means if I did something similar and I made it better or whatever, then I would be able to come in there and take that spot. And here's the other thing too. Even though there's a name brand, look at the name brand and at the reviews and look and see and, kind of review their reviews, their negative reviews, they're the 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star, and see what people are complaining about that product. Maybe you can come in now and take that same or similar product, and then from there, you can go ahead and make it even better. And then in your description and in your title and in your sales messaging, you're going to basically say, it doesn't do this as some of our competitors do or something, right? So this way here, you're calling out the issue that people are complaining about. And then from there, you can go ahead and say, but ours fixes that or whatever. You get the point. Anyway, wanted to answer that other question for you, Jay. Thanks again for submitting that. If you guys want to submit a question, head over to theamazingseller.com/ask, and you can do that. I want to also, again, remind you guys, if you're brand new and this is your first time to the show, I want to welcome you. I love hanging out with you guys. This is just awesome to be able to virtually connect like this. And that's why I love the Ask Scott sessions. But if you are brand new and you're just getting your feet wet and you don't understand the entire process, the entire business model, I would recommend attending one of my live free workshops. This is where I break it down for you in 5 phases: how to pick a market and a product, how to source it, how to do a pre-launch, how to do a launch, how to promote the product, and everything in between. We go over that on a workshop, and we go through every single thing. We also do live Q&A. So if you want to attend one of them, I would love to invite you to the next one, and you can register for the next one by heading over to theamazingseller.com/workshop, and you can register there for an upcoming workshop. Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Ask Scott. Now, that was just a highlight from one of our full episodes where I generally answer 3 to 4 questions on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen to all of the past archives of not just the Ask Scott session, but all of the full episodes where I do interviews with top Amazon sellers, people starting from scratch and building a business, if you want to listen to any of those episodes, head over to theamazingseller.com, and you can find all of that over there. You can also find details there on how you can ask your own question and get it aired on an upcoming Ask Scott session, and possibly see it here on YouTube or just on the podcast. All right, so definitely head over to theamazingseller.com. There's tons of resources over there for you to be able to build your e-commerce and Amazon business, so definitely go check that out. Now, I just wanted to remind you one thing before I let you go. There's a lot of information out there, and some of it is really, really good. What I want you to remember is you have to not just consume the information, you have to actually apply that information. So take this information that you learned here today and apply it to your business, and this way here you can get results. As my shirt says, I wear it almost daily. Take action. We'll see you guys.